So next we move on to a pretty underrated Black Sabbath album that I kind of like. It's a power metal one known as TYR. Now this album is sort of considered a concept album, but it's sort of a misconception. Only 3 songs in a row have to do with the concept, and that's the Battle of Tyr, Odin's Court, and Valhalla that all go in a row towards later in the album. This album came out in 1990. The artwork is actually kind of cool. There's some different versions of it. It sort of has like this weird, like Norse-looking border around it, and then you see some like mountains and shit in the distance in the artwork. It's pretty cool. So yeah, this review will probably be straightforward. There's not much history going on. They got Tony Martin doing pretty much all the lyrics here. I do like the album, although I don't think it's great. There's some weakness to it, especially the single. That shit sucks. So we have the first song, Ani Mundi, whatever the fuck. This song's pretty cool. It kind of has a slow build up, and it's kind of melodic and weird. And then it gets into it, and it's total power metal. It's catchy as hell and pretty badass. Although it just feels like it's sort of a little generic towards the later parts of the song. It doesn't really get more and more awesome like a lot of the other Tony Martin songs do, where it's like, yes, that verse is awesome, and the chorus is awesome. It just kind of keeps doing the same thing. I do like that awesome, heavy, pounding verse. Then we have one of my favorite songs in the album, Lawmaker. This one's really badass. It is total power metal and reminds me of stuff from like Yngwie Malmsteen. And no, not his instrumentals where it's classical stuff like I'm talking about his actual music, you know, his actual 80s metal, awesome power metal stuff. I think Tony Martin sings great on this song, and he's perfect for this type of music. The riff is very cool and the lyrics are really awesome. I do love that catchy as hell chorus. Then we have my absolute favorite song on the album, Jerusalem, which should have been the fucking single. This song is so power metal, it's awesome. It's so catchy, it's so memorable. Keyboard work from Jeff Nichols is awesome. And the singing from Tony Martin is amazing. The verse is so catchy and badass. And I love the little melodic break before the chorus. And then the chorus is so badass. Where you go when you're on the run, Jerusalem. And then that awesome This is one of my absolute favorite Black Sabbath songs. You should check it out. It's cool. And of course, Tony Iommi's guitar work is on top form on this album. Then we have an interesting song, Sabbath Stones, which sounds very Black Sabbath-y. It is very heavy, very doomy, and it totally sounds like stuff like the song Black Sabbath or The Eternal Idol. I love the beginning part where Tony Martin says, "Earth and water, wind and rain." The song kind of gets heavier, but it doesn't get as much interesting. It kind of has this weird, generic, drudgy riff, but it is a pretty nice song. Then we have the Battle of Tyr, which is a little instrumental. It's cool keyboard stuff, and it's actually kind of interesting. It sort of begins the trilogy of the next couple songs. And I guess you could say the trilogy is sort of like the epic on the album, if you want to say that. Then we have Odin's Court, which is sort of a really mellow song. It has some cool lyrics, and it sort of reminds you of Killer of Giants from Ozzy Osbourne, that sort of melodic part in the song. It's decent also. Then we have the awesome part, Valhalla. This part is fucking heavy as hell and super catchy. The guitar work is incredible, and Tony Iommi is on fire here. Then we have the shitty single, Feels Good to Me. Then we have the pretty cool heavy closer, Heaven in Black. This has some really cool riffs to it, and the singing is pretty nice, but it just feels like it's not as good as stuff like Lawmaker, Jerusalem, or any of the stuff they've been doing. So this album kind of is a step down from their past two. Now I do really like this album, and it is super underrated, and it is really different, especially if you like power metal, you will like this album. But I think this sort of begins the descent for the Tony Martin albums, where they kind of get worse and worse and worse, and this one's still good, but the next will be kind of okay, and the next after that will be shit. I just kind of wish it had more songs to it, you know, and they had the trilogy as like one song or something, got rid of Feels Good to Me.